Have you ever heard the phrase trust your gut? And you're like, yeah, like I totally want to. I wish that my gut would just drive this hot mess of a bus in the right direction, but I don't know what it means to trust my gut. How do I tell what's intuition and what's just like another of the many voices pointing me in all different directions? And if it's a tingling, how do I differentiate that from fear? Well, luckily today, intuition coach Mara Marchesi is going to shed some light on this for us because I know we all want to learn how to steer our lives in the, semi-correct direction. So let's dive in. Get excited because you can find calm in your chaotic life. That voice that says it's impossible is total mind BS. So, Mara, you call yourself the intuition queen. What does intuition even mean?
Well, intuition is that part of you, that voice inside your body, and majority of people feel it in the belly. So it's a gut feeling that tells you what is right for you, which for the majority we ignore until we learn to understand that actually that's the right thing to listen to, and we stop listening to other people and we start listening to ourselves. For me, it's like I feel it's a lot of parts of us. Like it's our soul. You can call it in the way that you want, but it's that part of you that always knows what's right for you and you feel it.
So, why do we have so much trouble connecting to that?
Well, the majority of the reasons like fear, and fear comes from the way you grew up, maybe, it comes from past experiences, comes from society. And for a lot of us, it's all of those things combined. And so we learn for whatever reason that it's better not to follow ourselves because maybe we get in trouble, maybe we upset someone, and maybe we make a wrong decision, and nobody teaches us that even if we make a wrong decision, at some point we can course correct. There is this big fear about, oh my God, what if I made the wrong decision? But the majority is fear to really be yourself and be authentic and really trust what's coming through. And so we learn to please other people. We learn to not shine so bright. And that's when you start to override yourself, you start to override your intuition, because it's better for you if you trust someone else.
I wonder if part of that fear comes from like a need to justify. So if somebody else comes to you, why did you do this? And it's like, well, here's all the research that, is the reason I went in that direction. Whereas if I just said, I don't know, my gut told me to, I would feel judged on that.
Yeah, and that depends on the obviously on the experience. And to me, that's really much resonated with the workplace often, when you kind of you have an intuition. And if you don't work in a creative space where this is understood, then you need to provide data, and you're like, yeah, but like I kind of know that's right. So yeah, that's one of the things that we also do. Sometimes we feel so uncomfortable, we need to fit in, and so we allow other people to take us in a different trajectory, and often it's not following ourselves because maybe you stand out too much.
Yeah, for me, that started even earlier. And I can, like, an obvious example would be my choice of education. Like, I was directed into a choice of education that would lead to, a successful career. And
Yeah.
so, regardless of what I really like, I mean, I had a limited choice of what I like within, what my parents would consider successful options. Okay,
Yeah.
so fear is reason number one. What else is holding us back from touching base with our intuition?
It just having learned not to trust and having learned not to take action on what you feel, because the fear is the biggest part, but there are so many reasons why you're afraid. It might be because you grew up in a controlling family or abusive family, not necessarily physically abusive, but even just mentally abusive, emotionally abusive, where you couldn't be yourself because being yourself meant that's not good, you're going to be punished for that, and so you start to please other, you start to do other things, and then it becomes a habit because you realize that if you do what other people are telling you, somehow things are okay. And that becomes something you learn to do. And then eventually, when you might want to shift, that's when fear starts to pop in, or when you really fear to rely to on yourself. And so that's another reason, a main reason, which is obviously connected to fear, but it's like the need to fit in, the need to not upset, the need to feel safe, really.
Hmm. I think one of the other reasons is just not knowing the language. Like I don't know what my body is telling me most of the time. Is that feeling that I'm having actually intuition, or is it something else? Is it fear? Is it, you know, I don't like anxiety, I don't know what it is. I can't interpret that. So what would
Yeah,
be your
because you're
guidance?
used so much to not listen to that, so you're confused. And the way I explain it, it's like when it's intuition, it's a clear feeling. It's positive feeling within, like you feel peace somehow, even if you have to make a very difficult decision, even if you have to make to really go out of your comfort zone. But there is some sort of peace and relief within you the moment you decide. Then for you to take action, it might happen in a week or later on, but it's that moment of decision where you're like, okay, I'm gonna do this or I'm not gonna do this. When you're acting out of fear, there is always this constrictive feeling around you, and your mind keeps going in an override because that decision that you're making based on fear doesn't allow you to feel like, oh, okay, now I know I need to do this. And then eventually you'll come to a point where you make that decision. But when you're acting out of fear, it's urgent, it's restrictive, and your mind won't stop going.
So, okay, so now I'm feeling this piece. I take an action based on this piece. I'm sure I've taken an action based on the intuition. And on the other side, I am getting all of this mind BS, all of this stuff telling me, oh my God, did I make the right choice? Did I do the thing right? How do you help people get through that?
You need to figure out which one is the tool that helps you to calm down. And you normally get into that state, especially at the very beginning, when maybe you're stepping out of your people pleasing or fear mode, and you go, okay, I want to do this for me, and I'm going to make my decision. So obviously your ego is going to be like, what the hell are you doing? No, 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 no. And so that's where, so you need to learn to understand what gives you peace and space. And for me, it's meditation and journaling. Writing things down actually helps me to put things in perspective. You can go for a walk, you can do a lot of different things. So it really depends on you because everybody's different. You can do some tapping. I do a variety of things depending on how I feel, but now I'm in a space where I know exactly what I need to do. And sometimes it's really just stop talking or thinking about that and do something else, do something fun. Fun is always a great way to release all of the tension that is coming through when your mind is overloaded. And just do something fun, call a friend, something like that. But you need to learn to figure out which one. Because I have clients that are like, Mara, I really cannot meditate because I fall asleep 2 minutes after. Like, or I just find someone talking to me really annoying. So we figure out which one is the tool for them that actually helps them calm down so that at that point their mind stops going and they can actually tune into themselves and be like, okay. And also there is a timeline, like you will have your own timeline depending on the situation, on the moment, or how you feel. So it's not that when you make the decision then everything is going to shift and it's going to be amazing. There is a time in which, okay, so that's the decision. Okay, now how and when can I take action on this? So also be patient and allow yourself to just be guided through whatever it is that you need to do. And the next thing that I'm going to say is also sometimes because if especially if we have overridden our intuition for so long and we keep on not wanting to learn the lesson, So this lesson keeps showing up. So you see the pattern is always the same. So you have people be like, why this is always happening to me? Why am I always attracting this kind of person? There is a lesson that you keep on not learning. So your intuition is gonna take you to what you might feel it's a wrong and uncomfortable situation, because you need to learn to overcome that fear, that pattern and things like that. So I just want to make it clear, because I know some people think that, oh my God, if I follow intuition, everything is going to be fine. I'm like, yes and no. But it's like on the long run, yes, because you're going to learn so much about yourself, and eventually you're going to be like, oh, okay, I see this, and everything is, you're going to feel more calm and all of that. But at the beginning, those are the things that will happen. So for you, it's really understanding what gives you that calm. What would that be for you in this case?
Okay, so you work mostly with entrepreneurs. Why is trusting your intuition important for business?
Because when you're trusting your intuition, you're following a flow and you're following yourself. You're following your natural path. But when you're following just your mind, you're maybe following making money or wanting that business because you have seen that person has been doing that. So whenever you go through crisis, whenever you go through obstacles, your mind is not going to help you to resolve that situation, especially when maybe it's a hard situation, but your intuition will. And that's, for me, what is the most important thing. I think that when you have your own business, it's when you learn the most about yourself, but also when all of the fears, limiting beliefs, and old patterns start to pop up, because you are the only one responsible now, and you no longer have someone paying you money into your bank account because you've worked for how many hours during the week, and so you're safe. Now it's all on you. And so if you don't have a great relationship with money, that's going to come up. If you don't have, if you don't know how, if you don't believe you can achieve what you're setting up yourself for, that's going to come up. So for me, it's important, because I learned through myself that that's when all of the fears and limitations start to come up. And I've seen so many amazing people letting go of a business idea just because they couldn't go past that moment. And I'm like, no, it's not because you can't do it. It's just because those things need to be released. They need to be seen. They need to be acknowledged. You need to learn to understand why you're afraid of that. Where is your biggest fear? And we can move past that, and you can create even something bigger than what you started with. And so, because that was my personal journey, I was like, oh, okay, I want to help others going through that. And because I met so many people with amazing talents, and but then just letting go of things because they were too afraid, or something happened and they didn't manage, and instead of maybe getting a job and continue, they decided that wasn't for them. And I was like, I wish I could help you, because I know that if we work on certain things, you will overcome that. You will see yourself where you actually wanted to see yourself.
So if someone's ready to get started today, ready to learn that language and how to, find the intuition within all of the fear and then take that action and then kind of calm their mind BS so that they can move forward, how would you recommend that they do that?
I love meditation. That's, for me, it's something that allows me, first of all, to calm down, to relax my mind. And then I start to get messages on what I think I should do or not do. And then normally, I do meditation and then I journal. When there are a lot of things going on that I feel like I need help with, or I need an answer, I need to figure out which path to go. Those are the tools. You can use other tools like cards. That's something that I love doing. It's very much fun. I use colors. Colors are another great way and fun way to help you tune into your intuition, because colors have vibration and they have a meaning, and you can play around with that. Nature is another very beautiful way to calm yourself down, and do something fun. Anything that is fun and creative. If you like painting, if you like drawing, if you like taking pictures, go out, start doing something that takes your mind off whatever it is that you're going through. And you will see how eventually you're going to start to receive messages that actually help you to understand what's the next step for you. And the more you trust that part of you, the more you start to feel very much confident. And then fear and everything else will start to dissipate because you're giving space to yourself and not to your fear or whatever else.
Yeah, fantastic. So the more you use it, the easier it gets.
Yep.
So do you have any resources that you can guide people to help get started?
Yeah, I have a free meditation that you can find on my website, theintuitionqueen.com/free resources. Then I also do human design. So there is a human design masterclass if you want to take that free. And I also have a 30 minutes coaching session in case you want to get some clarity on something that might be bothering you right now.
Fantastic. So I'm going to drop all of Mara's links in the description below so that you can get started on this. But I'm so curious, how does human design link to intuition?
Human design helps you to understand how you're functioning on an energetic level. And so for me, human design is a tool that helps you to help you stop going against yourself. So one of the things that I love and I'm really passionate about is to help people to understand how they function, because we are all so very different. And while it's amazing to follow experts on certain things, but when I get people being like, for me to be productive, I need to wake up at 5 a.m. and do this and do that, I'm like, yes, and maybe not, because it's about learning to understand how you function. So maybe you're a morning person or maybe you're not. So human design helps you with that. In terms of intuition, it helps you to understand how you feel your fear and how you feel your intuition. Some people are they have an intuition that is constantly on, and some others have a specific way to feel their intuition. So based on your profile, we can look at that. We can look at what's connected to the part where your intuition works. And I can help you to understand a little bit better yourself. Once you understand yourself better, then you really stop listening or being afraid of what other people are thinking about you. And so for me, that's a great way to really tune in and be like, oh, okay, I'm made this way. This is my energetic blueprint. And now I can, it's like a confirmation. For me, it's a great confirmation. It's not just for me. That's what my clients say all the time. It's a confirmation. It's something that you already know, and it's behavior that you have already put in place many, many times. But oftentimes we find people being like, why are you doing this? No, this is not, you should be, are you crazy? And so it's really helping you to understand you and be like, oh, okay, now I understand that I have this pattern, or my energy has this reaction when there are those kind of situation, and it helps you understand you more.
Yeah, cool. So if there is just one takeaway that you're hoping people will get from this conversation, what would that be?
I hope people learn to trust themselves more and learn to give themselves a chance more. And the more you do it, the better it becomes. Because when you learn to trust your intuition, I promise you that your life is gonna flow differently. And for me, it's really about releasing all of those blockages that they hold us back. So the more you trust your intuition, the more you become confident, and then you can take on the world.
Ooh, yes. It feels like it's going to make me powerful and be able to take on the world.
For sure.
Yeah. All right. So thank you so much for joining us today and sharing these amazing insights. I will have all of your links below so that people can check you out, book your free session and that free meditation. And any last words before we sign off?
No, I'm just really grateful to be on your show, and thank you so much for having me. And I hope this was helpful.
Yeah, it was super helpful for me. So Thank you so much and have a great day.
Thank you.
Hit subscribe and let's see if we can make life balance the norm.